welcome everyone to this week's The Insider's Edge. We are your hosts, Eric Tippett,
Jeff Jacobson.
So we are super excited about our guest today. You know, I want to talk a little bit first before Jeff gets in and formally introduces her. You know, Tanya and I have known each other for a long time, and the energy, the excitement, you know, that she brings, but also the value as a branding expert is just unbelievable. So today it's going to be super exciting to get into the insides of what she's doing. And we are very excited about our special guest.
Excellent. That's a good job, Eric. So she probably doesn't need introduction. Most of you that are on this call know who she is, but just a little bit about her background. I love this title, by the way, the No BS Mentor to Smart Marketers. I love that. Woo. Master brander, master list builder, extraordinaire, multiple seven-figure business owner, the incredible Miss Tanya Aliza. Welcome.
Hey. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate being here. I asked Eric, I said, so this is the pub, not like the club. This is the pub. And I was like, okay, let's drink some brewskis.
That's right. That was the first question she asked me. So the abundance of the pubcast. She goes, oh, so we're going to be drinking beers on the pubcast? I'm like, dude, I like where she's going already with it.
You got to have fun. Life is too short not to have fun. That's why we build our businesses. We want to have fun, right? So thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited to be here. We go way back, so it's an honor.
So I want to give you guys a quick story. As Tanya and I caught up about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and she asked me, so what have you been up to? And I said, well, you know, we've got this mission that we're going after of feeding 1 million children per day. And she kind of stopped me. She goes, what? Like 1 million children per day? Like, what are you doing? And, you know, most people, they want to just get back to themselves. Like, hey, well, that's great. Well, let me tell you what I'm up to. And it was fun to see how passionate Tanya was about, you know, the mission that we're all on, that we always talk about with each video cast, we feed 1,000 children. But I think that's something that Tanya is in massive alignment with our mission, that we, you know, everybody on the video cast that we talk about as far as giving back and making impact in the world, and especially the legacy that we bring. So Tanya, first of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your amazing heart, you know, beautiful heart and spirit. We appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you guys for having that amazing mission, which is so fabulous. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what we do typically on every video cast, we kind of start off with getting to know our guest. And, you know, most people start where, you know, in your professional career, we like to get down into the roots of, you know, as we just had somebody on that was a subconscious expert, and she talked about 85% of your thoughts and your beliefs and your standards were built by age 8. So most people are going, man, you know, I'm trying to feed all this stuff into my head as an adult. Well, by age 18, you got like 95% of your beliefs and standards already built. So tell us about your childhood and, you know, your parents. Did you go along the same lines as they, you know, who they were or they wanted you to be? Talk to us a little bit more.
I love this question. You learn so much about somebody. And so I grew up in a very humble home, and my parents both worked. My dad had his own company, but it wasn't like super successful or anything, just super, super, super hard worker, blue collar. And my sister and I, so my sister is 4 years younger than I am. And we grew up hearing from our parents all the time, we can't afford it. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. And now you know how much this messes with kids, right? Because as a multi-million dollar revenue business owner here, I mean, I'm still making decisions like I make $20,000 a year. Like Christian will be like, what, are you crazy? So you're so right. This does definitely shape you even to today. So we grew up with that all the time. And my sister and I were raised, my mom was German. So we were like very strict household, keep your stuff in alignment, don't embarrass the parents, like stay in your lane. We didn't really have, it was just very frugal growing up. And
Yep.
my sister and I, so you know that question people ask you, like, what did you want to be when you grew up? If you were to ask, like, when you were in first grade, what did you want to be when you grew up? And my answer was, I want to be a lawyer. Okay, like what first grader, 6-year-old ever says they want to be a lawyer? Like, that's just insane.
Well, and especially your parents, they weren't lawyers. So it wasn't like you were going, oh, I want to be
They were
just
not
like
lawyers at all. And
Well, they must have been in jail or something. You're like,
no,
I want to be a lawyer.
not even that.
I'm kidding.
Not even that. But you'd see the movies and then you'd associate being a lawyer of being wealthy or being able to, make lots of money. And I know that I don't even know why I wanted to make money, but I think it was just because I didn't want to have limited options, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I remember, I mean, my sister, and this does happen to come from my family because my dad owned his own business and he didn't really have a boss. I never really seen my parents have a boss. I just seen them struggle to build their own business, right?
Yep.
So we get this entrepreneurial drive from my family for sure. And all of my family was business owners. So my grandparents, like whether it be restaurants or even my one grandma had a pizza. It was Helen's Pizza, and it was the best pizza, voted the best pizza shop in all of our hometown of 60,000 people every year, year in, year out. And it was really damn good pizza. But as kids, like we'd help grandma like prep for the night and stuff. So we were always working and doing those things. And so like my sister and I would always have lemonade stands, and we would be going out and trying to figure out how to make our lemonade stand better than any other lemonade stand. So we go to the dollar store and we buy those little umbrellas, right? And we put it in the drinks because that would be like better than just a glass of like lemonade or Kool-Aid, right? I remember this one time, this is the best. So this one time my sister and I were doing lemonade stands. The street we lived on was not all that busy, but we lived close to the main street, and then probably about 2 miles, so it was a little ways still, 2 miles down the street, there was a plaza that had like a video store, a bunch of little, retail shops, and then the supermarket that everybody went to. I can't remember, it was like what it was called.
Hey,
But
Tanya, real quick, can everybody, just to make sure that everybody can hear, can everybody mute themselves?
I just muted everybody, but
okay.
So we should.
Okay. Sorry.
So we took our wagon down and hauled all the supplies because we were like, well, we need to go like where we're going to get business, of course. Right. So we haul our wagon down 2 miles, cross over, hit Main Street. I'm literally maybe 8 years old. My sister's like 4 or 5, right? This is the times, right? Like my parents are working. The kids are like dragging a red wagon down the street. And no one's really thinking anything that this is weird, right? Because it's, back in the day. So I'm with the wagon. We're going down the main street, 2 kids. We got the whole set up. We get to the superstore or the supermarket right outside. And we're like, okay, this is where the people are. There's traffic here. So we're going to set up our lemonade stand here because there's going to be more people that we can sell to. So we set up, and then we're there for maybe 30 minutes. And my mom drives up and she pulls in and she comes up. She's looking at her daughters and she's like, what are you guys doing? And we said, well, we weren't getting any business on our street. We needed to come here. And so she's like, I got a call from the manager. You can't just set up and sell your lemonade here. Like there's permits, like you have to, because small town, everyone knows each other, especially all the business owners. So the manager calls my mom, says, you need to come get your kids.
Oh,
But she was so
imagine how
proud
fun.
of us.
Yeah, I
She
was
was
gonna
like,
say.
this is so good,
She's like, oh yeah,
And
I'll be right down there just to see how good they're doing. Right.
yeah, I'll take them, but I'll tell them that they're doing a good job. So this was like, we were always, doing things like that. Like my sister and I were always finding a way. There was orchards always. We lived in a place where there was tons of orchards, and we would like pick fruit and do that in the summertime to make extra money. And we never wanted to burden my parents with asking for things, because we knew that they would have a really tough time even giving it. And we didn't want them to even feel bad that they couldn't. So we were always trying to find ways to take care of ourselves. And my mom always said, I remember one day I said, it was Christmas time, it was around the corner. And she said, what do you want for Christmas? And I was like, I really want a pair of Guess jeans. And my mom's like, guess what? You need to go get a job so you can buy them. And I was like, so we lived, but I will say very grateful, because now I really appreciate everything that I have. And my parents have done very well in real estate since then, and they're retired, and they've worked very hard for what they have, and they deserve and earned and deserve every little bit of it. So I think that's me. And when you have to work hard for something, and when you have that struggle, you have a deeper appreciation for it, and you don't take it for granted. I think that's a good way to be.
It's an interesting thing as we ask that question, how different of answers we get. I mean, it's fun to hear you really, from that young of an age, had that kind of, I'll call it entrepreneurial spirit, as far as, we wanted to be able to afford the things, so we went out and made it happen. Many times we'll hear bullying, people they have something to prove. And so they grew up with the no's, with no, 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 no. And something happened where, kids laughed at them, or somebody told them they couldn't do it. And so they kind of go into this phase of, I need to prove to everyone why I'm worthy and why I can do it. So it's fun to hear, the story of always growing up that way. And it's funny to hear what you just said as far as the red wagon. And it is so in alignment with who you are today, meaning it's traffic.
It's true.
When you were saying that, I was like, it's funny as you talk, you start to realize things that you do as a young child, and how it seeps through or in parallel with things that you're doing today. And you look at branding, you're a master at this, and you're a master at how do I go and get traffic, nonstop traffic, and start to build those leads and people that are attracted to me. And it's so funny to hear your story about the red, but I'm like, does this not make sense? It's like the absolute flow. So talk to us about the transition, as far as, I know you had some things personally with your father, go on. So maybe talk a little bit about that, and the transition from kind of your childhood into your professional life.
Yeah. So I was that person that was good at school, but didn't like it, because I wanted to just get out fast and go make money. Like that was when I hear people's stories, like Christian, my better half, he talks about his college days and his university days. And he had literally the best university days ever, that sometimes I'm a little bit jealous of, because I didn't have that experience, but he still has his college friends and everything. I literally was like, how fast can I graduate? And I graduated a half a year sooner than everybody else. I crammed all of my courses into one semester, and then took one on correspondence, and I was like, done. It's because I wanted to keep I had goals. I was like, I want to get this car, you know, and
School's getting in the way.
yeah, I mean, I don't know why I'm so driven. Yeah, I mean, I can probably guess, but I didn't go to my graduation, I went to my graduation. I didn't go to my prom. So, you know, cause everyone's like, oh, prom sucks. And I'm like, why am I going to go? I can go work. Cause I'm very close to making the money for this car that I wanted. and then I, you know, I did it. And I had the things later on that people wish they had, because I was willing to do the things that they weren't willing to do. And I don't know, I have it in me. I'm Aries, so I'm like super stubborn, and I'm ruthless. Like I will work so hard, and then I get that work ethic from my parents as well to like make it work, you know. So
did you
I
always,
went to
just a quick,
yeah.
did you always, like even the lemonade stand and things, did you find that you were winning, that you were working hard? Were you always getting what you were working for? You know, a lot of people, I mean, we see it all the time. People put in a little bit of work or a little bit of effort and then don't get the results, and so they quit. And so
Yeah.
did you find that you were making those little wins or those little things that drove you more?
This is an interesting question. This is going deep.
Whoop.
So this is interesting. I don't know why I don't have it ingrained into me that you can fail. So I don't necessarily have a win-lose mentality. It's weird. I'm programmed with you just get it done. It's so weird. So I don't ever
Wow,
think that
very
things aren't
insightful.
working. I'm just like, let's just keep doing till they do work. Right?
Ooh.
It's very weird. I'm programmed weird. People that know me very closely, they go, we don't know how you are programmed like this.
But that's
um,
actually, if you really think about it, the consistency, like we always talk about, just work the process. So if you want a roller coaster, it's, you know, go big and then you don't get the results, and you're all sad. And then you're happy because you got one sale, and then you're sad again because a week went by. But if you work that process, you know, the results are going to come.
yeah.
You are exactly, it just seems like you've got a process in your head to where you're going, I'm just going to go work the process and I'll make it happen.
Yeah. I think, yeah, if people would stop just thinking like win lose and just be like, just keep going on your path. But I will say this is sometimes you can have that mentality and be going down the wrong path and go down it for too long because you're too stubborn to make a trajectory change, right?
Yes.
And I've had this happen in business relationships that have gone sour, personal relationships that have gone sour, because I'm like, I'm going to make it work. And you just can't do it with everything. You know,
I will
so
make
it's
it
not
work.
all serving. It can be disserving sometimes as well. But I went from, you know, so I went from high school, and then my mom wanted me to go to college. I went to college for 1 year, and I was like, it's just not for me. I want to work. I don't even know what I'm doing in college. That's try not to waste time or money. So I started working, and I worked in the restaurant industry for many years. I liked it. It was good money. And then I got tired of working late nights. My mom said, hey, you should look at what I do. And she was a finance specialist. And she's like, and I was living in Vancouver, Canada at the time. And she's like, you could make good money in the big city. You could double what I'm making there. And I was like, that's cool. So I went and I took a course, and then I met somebody and they helped me get a job. And then I was working in finance for about 6 or 7 years, and I was doing really well. I worked with a really great organization, but what ended up happening is if you're working if you're a worker, if you're an employee and you do your job really, really well, they like to abuse the crap out of you. So,
especially your manager.
yeah. Yeah. And
Make me
then, you
look
know,
at
most people are like, sure, there's me like just super serving and helpful. I'm like, sure, I'll do it. And then I get completely resentful because it burns you out. And that's what ended up happening. I was completely burnt out. And it's funny because when you start thinking about other things, like I read a book, I read The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. And so my brain was starting to get triggered in different directions. And I was starting to be a little bit more like, you don't know what you don't know. So I was like, oh, now I know. This is cool. Like, how do you make this possible? How? And then obviously when you ask your brain how enough times, it goes and it finds answers for you. And one day, my girlfriend, Michelle, called me up, and she's actually who introduced me to network marketing. She invited me over and introduced me to a couple that was making like $400,000 a year in this network marketing company. And they were working a few hours a day. And so I said to myself, well, I mean, the money's great, but I'm like, I just want my time back. So I was like, show me what you do, like literally show me what you do. And they did. And this was in 2009. So all of that, back then there was no social media like there is today. Like anybody that's starting a network marketing business today, they don't even know how good they have it.
That's right. That is
Because
right.
Yep.
I was doing all the things that you do old school. I was going from living room to living room to living room. Like part of my like package that I purchased was it included a physical flip chart with an easel. Okay, now I'm dating myself. We weren't even quite at PowerPoint presentations on DVD yet. Okay.
Oh, I love it.
So I would lug this $300 easel thing around with my case, and I'm going living room to living room to living room doing presentations. And I did presentations for a living in my finance career already. So I was okay with the presentation. And because I was okay with the presentation, everybody wanted me to do it for them. And so I was like, and then there's me, the young 20-something egotistical person that was like, I'll do it. I'm good. And I'd show up, and then I'm not duplicating myself. I'm actually like burning myself out again because everyone wants Tanya to do the presentations. They don't want to do it. And I got to get them to do it because that's how leverage happens in network marketing.
That's right. Time.
So you learn, you go all through the motions and you live and learn. And then in 2010, I had exhausted my warm market. I was, I wasn't comfortable, nor did I have time to really like wander around shopping malls and coffee shops and be like, you interested in a business opportunity? Hey, how about you? You interested in a business opportunity? So I was learning about social media. I was learning about digital marketing, online marketing. And I was like, if there is a way that I can just so this is my lemonade stand story coming out. I was like, if there's just a way that I can get in front of people who have an already existing interest of my benefits that my product and service provides, those are my perfect prospects. How do I just get in front of them? Like, where do I go? What do I present so that they see the picture that's going to serve them best? Like, I'm tired of throwing a whole bunch of mud against the wall and just hoping that some of it sticks. Like, me, I'm so methodical in everything that I do because I like to work smart. I don't like to work hard. And so for 4 years, no joke, 2010 to 2014, I struggled to figure it out. And I was trying everything. People would say, do YouTube. I was doing YouTube. People would say, do blogging. I'm doing blogging. SEOing. I'm SEOing. People are like, Facebook ads. You name it. I've done it. I've tried it. Forum marketing, everything. Buying lists of people's other email lists and working those lists. And that doesn't work. Just gets you really good on the phone, actually. But you name it, I did it. And then I was generating some results. It wasn't terrible. It was, my business was making about $56,000 a year. I could pay my bills. It wasn't bad, but that wasn't my vision for it. So, in 2014, early 2014, it was like February 2014, I was listening to a podcast. My girl, Amy Porterfield. If you guys don't listen to her, she's got a podcast, Online Marketing Made Easy. She's really good. And I still listen to her all the time. But back then I was listening to her podcast, and every podcast that she did, she would have a download, a freebie download that would get my attention. Like I was taking action. And I was like, okay, if I'm taking action on her content, there's got to be something to her content. Like, let's look at this. So, biggest tip that I can give everybody here is as they're on social media or they're taking whatever catches your attention, pay attention as a marketer to what that is and ask yourself, why did this draw me in? Because you're going to grab some incredible insight on how to make something like that possibly work for your business. And that's exactly what I did with Amy's model. Is I said, why am I attracted to this? Like, what is it? And what I figured out is there's two things that I was really attracted to. One was that she was doing one high value piece of content every week. And that was cool because at the time, some people were saying, you have to do every day. Like every day you got to do videos, you got to do everyday blogging, you got to do everyday this. And it was like, that to me isn't sustainable. And if it's not sustainable for me, how can I train for other people to do that and have a good conscience on my shoulder going, yeah, that's the right thing to teach people, you know? Most of us, like, you know, network marketing, a lot of us come in the beginning and we're like, hey, if we can make $1,000 extra a month, this would be great. Or maybe they're trying to supplement some like stay at home, shameless shoe fund if they're a stay at home mom or something. Right. So I said, okay, I like that model, one high value piece of content a week. She spends a little bit of time putting it together. It's very valuable for her audience. And then she has a call to action that gives more value, which is her freebie. And then in the freebie, once you're on her list or in her world, in the freebie, she makes recommendations and suggestions to help her to sell her products and services. And the reason why she was so successful in doing that is because she led with immense value. That value held her up as a credible authority with her audience. They viewed her as a person of extreme value, and they saw her as a credible figure, which also helps when you're trying to make sales if people view you that way. And then they also, what that freebie did is it invoked the law of reciprocity as well, because she was giving value and people were feeling like, wow, how can I reciprocate? So when she did make her recommendations and suggestions for products and services, people wanted to give their money to her because she was giving so much value. And so I was like, this is really cool. Okay, let me reverse engineer this and have this work for my business and see if I can make it work. And because success leaves clues, right? So I was like, I mean, she's already at that point, she was doing a few million. I think she was about 4 million a year. She just did a $10 million launch, which is incredible in 10 days. I mean, think about this is the possibility, right? So I ended up creating, at the time I was in a network marketing company that had a health and wellness product, and it was a drink, and you drink it. And there was all sorts of things that people were saying that it helped them with, like tons. There wasn't like one thing versus the other. It was just like everyone is experiencing it different. But I wanted to know what the main thing that it was actually helping people with. And when I went into the Facebook groups and when I surveyed the customers and surveyed some of the team, the major thing that people were saying was that it helped them reduce inflammation in their body. So it was helping to reduce the inflammation, and that was having a whole bunch of other beneficial side effects as well. So I was like, okay, I know that this is a major benefit of my product. How can I get this in front of people who are already looking for that, right? Reducing inflammation in the body.
Yep.
So I said, I'm going to create a little food guide, and I'm going to put together the 10 foods that people should consider avoiding and eliminating out of their diet if they're trying to reduce inflammation in their body. And I'm not an expert in this, so I went to Google. Google's the expert, and I found some information, and it took me about an hour to put together this little freebie of information based on my research that would help people out. And so then when I was on social media or when I was doing my videos on YouTube, I would post still every day on social media. You still should do a post every day. You don't have to do videos every day, but you should still some sort of post on social media every day. And about 3 out of the 4 or 3 out of the 7, 4 out of the 7 days, about half of the week, I would have a call to action in my post that says, hey, PS, if you don't have this cool food guide that I created for you, which is the 10 foods that you should probably consider eliminating out of your diet if you're trying to reduce inflammation, or you might know somebody that might need this, here's the link to go get it. And so they would click the link and then they would put in their name and email and they would get it. Now I would be building a list of people that were interested in that very specific thing. Now, are these not the perfect buyers for my product and service? Right.
Absolutely.
So I proved that concept so well that next year, 2014, did $434,000 in my business. And then the results aren't typical, they're possible, right? It all depends what you're selling and what your profit margin is on that. But I want to just showcase that because this really works if you know how to set it up right.
Well, and
I was like, that's cool.
And you're leveraging time.
Oh my gosh.
I think a major thing, going from doing the backpack with the flip chart to understanding online, you've got this massive massive place to go and really affect and leverage your time. This is, so powerful to have these people coming to you just to get that free informational guide. That's then, as a branding expert, do you find that because you were giving them that guide, it put you in that light of the expert? So you aren't going out there and saying, hey, here's my product. Let me show you how it's going to do, overcome your inflammation, reduce inflammation. You were letting the guide create you as the brand, you as the expert in that niche.
Yeah. And even though I wasn't an expert, because it's just perception, because you put the value that's out there, right? I was an expert of just doing the research and putting it together in an easily digestible way for somebody to consume. And that was my value that I was bringing to the table. And people definitely found it helpful. So in the freebie, I would recommend, my product, and I would have a link right where people go and buy it. And I was popping autopilot sales, right? So every piece of content that you have online is fishing line back to you that's bringing you leads. And then your freebie funnel, if you set it up right, is generating autopilot sales for you too. And then you also have a way to follow up with those leads for the people that don't take immediate action, because a lot of people will not take action. Some of them will right away. And then you have a follow-up, right? So I was doing this, and for 2 years I used the same one freebie. And because now over the years, it's been over a decade, we've got almost a decade, we've got so many freebies now. We've got 200 different freebies. I try to think about different ways that my audience will find value, and there's all sorts of like checklists and swipe files and cheat sheets and recipes and anything that you can think of. People will want if you make their life easier with just having them download something to be able to easily consume and digest and implement.
What do you think as far as like what's a good percentage rate as far as response? So if you've got something, because I think people put so much pressure that I put something out and I should get 99%, not realizing that that's like never going to happen. But what would be a good response rate that you would say, hey, that was a great job? And second, I hope people are understanding when you say this, is that this is consistency, that you've got to build that portfolio. And the great thing and the bad thing about the internet is it stores everything. And so this could be 5 years, and on the flip side, it stores everything. Yeah. So if you're going on there and, bashing people and doing all this, it can be ruthless for you.
Yeah.
So
And let me, when you answer Eric's question, let me give you something else to answer while we back up. You said
Mhm.
a high value piece of content. You did a phenomenal job of explaining what a freebie is, what the call to action is. But I know myself included, and I know a lot of our members, when you say high value content, what is high value content? How would you describe that to people? And how often does that something need to go out on social media for them?
Yeah. So a high value, that's a great question. Sorry, I glazed over that a little bit. So it's basically having some thought that you put into the topic that you want to present to your audience and kind of frame a topic every week around with your brand, with your audience. And it can be in any kind of format. It could be in the format of a Facebook Live that you do weekly. It could be in the format of and now I teach it differently now than what I used to teach. Now you really do need to get on video. Like, I'm just going to push it. I was so scared to push it before because I was like, I know how so many people are scared of video, but it is literally the fastest way to connect with your audience, build a relationship, and make money online. So, but if you aren't going to do a video, like maybe a nice written blog post or a nice written Facebook post or something like that, like you've actually taken some time and you thought about a topic that you want to talk about with a call to action into like your freebie. I do for me, what I do is every Monday, I do an episode on Tanya Aliza TV, which is my YouTube channel. And I've been doing that for years. We take that episode and we put it on my blog. And so I kind of have two pieces of real estate. And then every Tuesday, we've added this because I think it's easy enough for me to do and it's very valuable, is I go live every Tuesday on my Facebook page and on my Periscope. We simulcast a little bit, but and now the purpose of the Tuesday is to just take a couple of the talking points I talked about on Monday and bring attention to them and then direct people to go get the freebie on the blog.
Okay.
Now that's a little more like higher level, but if I was just starting today, like brand new, didn't have any of those pieces in place, I would do Facebook Live like once a week. Facebook Live right now is the absolute hottest, best way to get attention and get leads. It's almost like your own infomercial without paying infomercial rates. And you go
past midnight.
Yeah, exactly. And then if people want to watch you during midnight, they just catch the replay later because it's there, right?
Oh,
But here's the thing, like you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have TikTok where everyone's TikToking around. And then you've got like, Clubhouse, and you got all these things, right? These are not your business. These platforms are not your business. Do not build your business on these platforms. Use these platforms as tools to build your business. I have seen so many people get their ads accounts shut down, or their pages shut down, or their Instagram shut down. And you spend so much time and energy building up your following over there, and then it can be gone because you don't own that platform.
right.
You're using it. You're just
That's right.
renting it. You're like, hey, I'm here. And if you haven't taken that audience and moved them onto your own list, into your own world, I just recently hopped off an interview before hopping on here. And the gentleman that was interviewing me, he said, Tanya, you're so right. He's like, I spent 1 year building up Periscope when Periscope came out and it was new on the market and everyone was on there. I was the first to be there and I had like 40,000 like really engaged people. And then Facebook Live came out and my people were gone. And he's like, I was not taking those people and putting them somewhere that I can kind of keep control of them, and not control them. You don't want to control people, but like, you know what I mean, right? Like
Yes.
keep follow-up going with them. So and it's so true, it's, you have to have something. And this is how, if you look at any legitimate business influencer owner online that's operating at that level, that's what they're doing. That's
That's
what they're doing.
that's probably one of the biggest mistakes I see, and especially in network marketing, is that people feel like I get in and I get this IBO link, or I get my business link, and that's how I'm going to go build my business, not realizing that you don't own that customer, that you don't own this lead, is that it comes into your affiliate link and it kind of goes off, and the company owns it, to where you are the brand, you are the product. People are connecting with you. You're in the people business. And so I think a lot of people on the Facebook Lives, they feel there's so much pressure. I'm not good on film. I don't know what to say. You know what? People connect with people just by seeing them. That doesn't mean every single person in the world's going to love you, but the people that connect with you are going to follow you. Give them a place to go and collaborate more with you.
Yeah. And just think about, what is it that you're selling? Like, what's the main thing you're selling? What are the major benefits? And if somebody was looking for these benefits, how can I create content around that will serve them? And if you look at it like that, you should never run out of things to talk about and do a 20-minute live or 15-minute live to talk about something that that person that you're thinking about would be perfect, you could help them with. And then you'd have a call to action. And I do recommend having a call to action always into something like a freebie or something like that, because I've seen so many leaders in network marketing, work so hard at building a team and building a downline and customer base. And then something happens with that company, and that company's gone. And for a decade plus, that leader has been building up that company and shouting that company from the rooftops, but they forgot to, in the meantime, make sure that they're taking care of house in their own world, right? And if they would have been able to build an email list and then, kind of move their people into the information of which they're representing, they can easily plug and unplug anywhere they go and not have to skip a beat in any fashion. And I've had to do that before. And also the, smart marketers that are out there that have these email lists, if their network marketing company does a promotion or comes up with a new product or does a Black Friday special, they just have to send an email, and immediately 2,000, 3,000, 200, doesn't matter, people that already have an interest in that thing are seeing that information. They're springboarding their results exponentially beyond anyone else that has to start from scratch and go, okay, who am I contacting today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one thing you said that I want to make sure that we pick up on is, how do I serve them? Yeah. Because I think too many people are, how do they serve me? So I'm just going to do something, and then who's going to sign up? What are they going to do for me? Not realizing, if you look at your audience and who would be great, the perfect ideal audience, how do I go serve them? And so you're constantly thinking about what's feeding them, what's nourishing them. That actually fits, completely in parallel. Think about, Rocket Recruiting, our whole thing is about leading with a giving hand. Is that, why don't I help you? If money is the obstacle, then let me lead with, or follow up with, how do I put more money back in your pocket? So immediately I can put money in your pocket. Then let's talk more about what you'd like to do and your passions. You're leading with a giving hand. That freebie is saying, hey, I'm not asking for anything. What I'd like to do is, I'd like to give you something. I'd like to give you something. I'd like to give you something free. I'd like to add value to you. I'd like to give more to you. And at some point, you've created so much stored value, or, where reciprocity kicks in, where people start to go, man, Tanya is always like, these freebies are so valuable. Like, this is so great what she's doing. Like, I feel like I need to help her and support her.
Yeah.
So We're getting to about 10 minutes to the top of the hour. You know, I want to, you've got a new challenge coming out. And so I want to give a chance for you to talk about that because, we've done
Well, Izzy's going to talk about it. See, he's got it in the background there. It's his
I
new
love
background.
it.
I love it. This is the impact I'm having. I love it, Izzy.
I'm gonna move my head.
Yeah, right there.
This is so cool. He shows up. I'm his background.
That is really cool.
How's that?
That's way cool.
Well, I think it's adding value. I mean, you're on here today, and you've really dropped some great info nuggets. But I think getting people engaged in and actually a challenge is a great way for people to be a part of a community, be a part of something that's bettering their life, evolving them. Talk more about that. Talk more about this challenge coming up.
So as you know, I used to do a live mastermind every year. You were actually at year 2.
Yes.
Like
Amazing.
4 years or so ago. Yeah.
Amazing.
And I used to only train this in that setting, really. And I would only take on 50 people a year and train that whole freebie funnel method. And last year we sold the mastermind pre-pandemic and it was supposed to take part post-pandemic. So we had to virtualize it completely. And I was worried about that because this is my way to connect with my people is in person. We had to do it virtually and everybody, including me, was a little bummed about it. But while we did it, it was perfect. It worked out so well. Even virtually, everybody had the same results, if not better. And it really opened my eyes to go, okay, we can actually teach this virtually. This is cool. So when it came time to make plans for 2021 in the company, I said, well, what are we doing about the mastermind? There's a lot of people that need this information, but I'm not going to meet with people in person this year. So we decided to do it a little bit differently and we would kick off the training with a challenge. And so we have a 5-day buyer attraction challenge. We've named it Growth Camp. So you can strap on your backpack, Louis Vuitton style or Patagonia style. We don't care. You're all welcome. And I will work with you for 5 days, really short spurts of the day. It's not like we're working together all day, but from March 1st to March 5th, I'll come into the Facebook group. I'm going to go live for about 15 or 20 minutes and I'll give you an action activity for that day. You'll go and implement it. It'll take you about 15 or 30 minutes each day to implement what I teach. And then at the end of the 5 days, you will have a perfectly positioned and named freebie that will help you grow your brand, get in front of your perfect buyers, and attract an engaged audience of perfect buyers. There is an art that I've learned by doing this to do it right, where you actually stop the scroll of somebody and they really want your freebie. So there's a way to name it. I've got a formula for that works really well. There's a way to position it as well so that it congruently is in alignment to your audience's needs, wants, and desires, as well as what it is that you're selling, whatever product or service that it is that you're selling. So we have cool little action activities throughout the 5 days. And then on the 5th day, we have $500 cash we're giving away because what's a challenge without a winner and cash? So we threw that just to have a little fun with it. Yeah, make it rain a little bit. But we want, and this will be a good opportunity for you to not only have this great freebie that will help you grow your list and build you an engaged audience of perfect buyers and help you to sell your product on autopilot, but it'll also be an incredible place for you to share your freebie with everybody in the group. This is one of the ways that we're going to determine our winner is who did the work and who came up with the best freebie. So we're going to put that, you'll have exposure. Now we just started, we opened the doors for enrollment for Growth Camp yesterday, and we've got, I think, almost 700 people in there right now. So there'll be a few thousand, maybe 5,000 people in the group. So it'll be a good group to work with for this time. And then on the 5th day as well, I'll help you learn how to automate the whole thing. If you want to add an email list to the process and stuff, I'll give you some information on that. And it's free right now. So
$3.93.
all I ask is we'll charge, like, I've had a business coach say you should charge $27 at least for somebody to come in, because then they're going to take it seriously. And I'm like, you're probably right. We'll probably do that again later. But for this one, it is set up already the way that it is. But all I'm asking is that if people come in and they find value and they go through the activity, please do. And just give us share a story with us. Share a testimonial with us. That would help us. That's what we're looking for on this thing. And it should be fun. It should help a lot of entrepreneurs. It doesn't matter what you're selling, whatever product or service. Claudia loves it. Thank you, Claudia. Hope to see you in there. Eric's going to share a link with you, and Jeff will share a link with you guys so that you can register for free and come and join us and say hi. There's already some resources in there, and my team is in there too. And I have a lot of my past clients that have built their freebie funnels with me that are ambassadors in there, because we know there's going to be thousands of people. We want to fully be able to support everybody in there. So my clients have even said, we'll be ambassadors. Let's help everybody. So it's a really good mission and cool environment to be in. So I hope you guys come and join us. It'll be really fun.
Well, Jeff and I are definitely in there, and I'm pretty sure everybody on the call is going to be there. This is something
I don't know about Izzy though. It doesn't.
Izzy, no.
The link.
I won't be there.
It's in the chat right now. So everybody that wants to figure out where to go register, look in the chat, and it's there available for you right now.
Yes, and we'll be sending this out to you guys.
I want to hire Izzy as my hype man. Look at him. I love it.
This is so good as a background. Yeah, he sits up right next to it too.
Auto mix
right here.
Mask on.
Okay.
I don't even have my phone in here. I gotta take a picture of this, Izzy.
Oh, it's look he's
like,
oh, that's funny. I love it.
It is, yeah.
That's
love
dedication. He's going for that $500, guys.
No, this is
by the way.
You can inbox it now.
What's that?
You can inbox it now.
Oh, careful,
That's
you.
right.
We have to watch Izzy.
You
What
guys,
was that, Jeff?
this is the irresistible offer. I mean, what a no-brainer. I mean, you've made it so easy for people to come in and experience it, and also get the value of that freebie, the understanding of how to do it. I think so many people are, they're stuck with, how do I even create this freebie to in that community setting, a challenge setting? It's brilliant. We love it.
Thank you. We hope that it's valuable. We've been working on the format and the curriculum for months. So this isn't something that we just threw up and said, hey, that this works. No, there's going to be some really good value in there for everybody.
Well,
thank you for sharing
that's one thing that I will tell you, among so many the amazing things about you, is everything you do is such high quality. Is even when I came to the live mastermind, the way you had it set up at your home, and the value that you had on every segment, there was nothing that was a gap where you're like, maybe we could have left and grabbed something to eat. Everything had a purpose. You're very methodical about the approach. And, anybody watching this, that's something that a lot of people, I've just watched a lot of gurus, regurgitating what other people are doing. You have innovated and really created something that's so methodical and simple to walk through and have a result at the end of it. That's powerful. We give you huge kudos for that.
Thank you. Yes,
So,
I appreciate it.
So we're going to be pushing out to everybody on this video. We're going to be pushing out to and doing more lives as far as promoting this. We just, we're 100% behind you.
Thank you.
Alongside.
Feel free, anybody, the link that Jeff shared with you guys, feel free to share that with anybody that you guys know. Invite your people, tell them to come get registered. It'll be a good time, and it's leverage. It's smart marketing if you have your team doing things that can exponentially grow their teams as well.
That's right. So we want to end this what time is it? 12:59. We want to make sure that we give a chance. Everybody looks forward to these 5 questions.
Okay.
And then after, we wanted, how does somebody connect with you? Let's make sure that people are able to come and follow you, get connected on social media. So let's start off with Jeff with the 5 questions.
All right, Tanya, you ready?
I don't know.
Yeah.
They told me to be prepared.
Yeah, the camera turns off. She's like, okay, I'm out.
But the connection is getting.
Yeah.
Tension. Are your hands sweaty?
Yes.
All right, very easy questions. Let's get started. Question number 1. My purpose is?
Impact.
Oh, I love it. Impact.
Yeah, that's why we love you.
All right, question number 2. My vision is?
Freedom.
Freedom.
Just one word. Am I allowed to say one word?
I'm liking these one-word answers.
I know, just gave me
Great.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to switch the order up because I want to ask the question that usually comes number 3 at the very end. So let's move to question 3. It all comes down to blank.
Ooh, consistency.
Heard that. That's great. All right. Question number 4. What I know best is?
This one's going to be hard.
Yeah, the camera just froze.
What I know best is I know hard work, and I know investing in myself best and asking questions. Those are the things that I know best to do.
Excellent. All right, the last one. You ready for question number 5? All right, question number 5. I am blank.
Imperfectly perfect.
Ooh.
Oof.
I like that. Double entendre meaning. Imperfectly perfect. Oh my gosh. All right. Awesome. Awesome questions. Awesome answers.
Hey, wait, I don't get to ask you guys questions?
That's when you're on your
time's over.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. This is way one-sided.
Wait a second.
Those are great. Really, it's fun to just see, how people answer those differently. We've had some people go off on a tangent. We've had to kind of say, hey, that's enough. One-word answers are great. It's just great to really, peer into the mind of the different guests we have. Tanya, before I send it back to Eric, though, I just wanted to say, number 1, thanks for jumping on. And one thing that I love about, high quality content and then the freebie is a lot of times in our minds, we think that we have to, by providing something free, like Eric said, we want somebody to take action. I'm only giving you this free thing because I hope down the road you're going to buy from me. When ultimately, that's not what happens. But by creating these free things, what you're doing is you're putting goodwill, you're putting information, leading with a giving hand into people. And even if they don't buy, that's okay. In an interaction with you, a piece of content they receive from you, and this goes for all of our members, provides value for them. And if you can just remember to do things that provide value, maybe they're not going to buy from you right now. Maybe they never will. But ultimately, you're going to create goodwill. They might circle back and buy from you. But what they're going to do is they're going to become an advocate for what you're doing and a mouthpiece. And I love the system that you've put together that encourages and allows people to do that. So I just wanted to say that before we head back to Eric. Thanks so much, Tanya, for being on.
Thank you. I love it.
Awesome. Well, Tanya, how do people connect with you? You got social media. How do people?
Yeah, the best way is come in growth camp. And then secondly, I am most personally active. I'm all over, just Google me. But connecting with me personally, I'm more personally active on Instagram. I'm liking the gram right now.
Graham.
If you want to see all of the shenanigans, like the behind the scenes, my stories can be a little outrageous and funny, but in a nice professional way.
Classy way.
Yeah, definitely.
We're excited to meet your better half, Christian.
Yes, he's way better than me. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
everyone likes him way more than me.
Mm.
He's a yellow blue all the way, and I'm a green red green blue yellow.
What a combo. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
so he's all like helping and loving and very empathetic, and I'm like, let's just go.
Yeah, 2 speeds.
The older I get and the more successful the company gets, I do turn more blue, yellow, it happens. So yeah.
Love
But
it.
you guys would love him. Hopefully more than me, not
Look
more
forward
than
to
me.
meeting you.
Well, Tanya, thank you,
Yeah,
thank you so much. This
You're
has been so great just to connect with you, share you with our tribe. We're excited for this challenge to be a part of it with you. And excited just to connect and be a part of this journey with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So everyone, please click on the link, and we'll be sending that out, putting it on our channels, making sure that you guys are all showing up and you guys are there to experience this. And Tanya, thank you again for being on this video cast. Super excited for this challenge and just to be connected with you.
Absolutely.
Cool. Thank you so much. I'm honored. Thank you for
Thank you
hanging
so
with
much,
me this
Tanya.
afternoon. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll see you guys inside of Growth Camp, and we'll crush it out starting next week, March
Yes.
1st.
Already
do it.
March. It's gonna
I
be
know.
All right,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of this week's Insider's Edge with Tanya Aliza. Remember, go click on the link there. Also, just go connect with Tanya on Instagram or wherever
Yes.
you find her. And we're excited to have Tanya on to the video cast again, especially I think after the challenge. Be great to have you come back on and have a lot of our tribe that's going to be a part of it and have them
That would be good.
share some experiences.
Cool.
Tanya,
I
you're
would be
awesome.
happy to. Yeah, we'll get that
Lizzie's
scheduled.
background changes.
I love it. Yeah,
and we
yeah.
need. I think though that we should broadcast at your new place in Park City. So we'll
Ooh,
just go there and do like a thing.
I like that.
You're already
I like
seeing where
that.
I'm going with this.
Yeah. Hey guys, we're skiing. How are you guys doing?
Can't talk. Breath.
All right, Tanya, thank you so much. Have an amazing day and look forward to catching up with you soon.
Be blessed,
Thank-
guys. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.